So we are going to talk about this integrative approach, okay? That the ones that have been here, they know about what is that, but it's about just a way to understand the human being from its different dimensions. So it is commonly known, I think, more nowadays everyone talks about that it's not just one part of us, the one that is stronger than the others. But what I see in practice is that the people, that's why I call it self-care, because in general, individuals don't work with this. We all know there are different parts, but we don't work with the different parts. So that's why also my invitation with this theory is like it really inspires you, like, hey, what am I not really looking at or nurturing in my dimensions, and how I can nurture that. In short, but the psychology normally tries to fixate, to create theories of personality and so on. So there are people like, okay, there are people more emotional, there are others more rational, there are others more instinctive, and for sure, actually we will maybe work with one of these theories that I like a lot. So I'm not rejecting theories of personality, but I'm rejecting fixations. Because when we fixate ourselves in what it should be, or where I am and what I cannot be, I'm implying what I cannot be. Because I'm very emotional, I cannot be rational. What the hell? That's not true. So the important thing here is like, yes, I can have a tendency to like approach life from this area much more, but it is true that the other areas, they should come with me. I should really like make this communication happening, and then I can just approach life and approach the others. When I say life is one thing, relations is another, but of course they should meet. So it's important that the more I grow, the more awareness, as I said before, the more I work on my awareness, the more I can access these areas. And for sure, if I know they exist, but I don't do anything, forget about growing with them and through them. So my idea is that we just get this awareness of us, or me as a whole, and then we start by the cognitive area. That's actually the one that we develop in developmental years. When we are babies, we become children, it's the one that we develop the latest. But when we are grown-ups, this is the one we use a lot. That's why we did the mindfulness with this kind of clearing the heads, because the heads always in our heads, how we interact with others, how we do our work, and we are a lot in the minds. And I mean, it's gorgeous that we have a mind. That's what it distinguishes us from animals, and that's what it helps us also many times from our biology just taking over. So definitely we need a mind. But I also think like, if we don't have, and this is gonna be the twist, because the twist, or at least what I understand, the turnover in the self-growth process, that is, I need to have for sure cognition, mind, to develop this area. It can be in courses, it can be in whatever way, but the most important thing is that I need to have my own mind. So my own ideas, beliefs, my own system about understanding the world. Because normally we come with the systems of what? Of culture, of society, of politicians, of family, of religion, and I mean, we are like, yes, I mean, all of this, yes, and then it's just like, is that yours? Because then, that's also what I see a lot in the clinic, the people, they come, no, I feel guilty because who is really blaming you? I mean, who is really judging you? It's you. So you truly have, introject, okay? That kind of belief, idea, make it yours. And is this really what you think that a family should look like? Is this what you think that a working human being should look like? Is this what you think that a couple should look like? No. So that's why it's so important that we are a little bit, and this is so beautiful as well to put it in these more elements of the nature. That's also why I draw here nature, and now I also explain you why. But it's a little bit more this air element, it's like we have to become a little bit more like birds, to go from here to there and to pick up that and that. And what is it really, what I really believe, to make connections, to make our own learnings. So it's this kind of bird that for sure the birds, what happened with the birds? That the birds are a little bit also very fragile, it's animals, but at the same time very sophisticated. And it's beautiful that we are on different birds. I mean, we don't have to think the same. I mean, I'm not thinking like, hey, what I'm teaching you is what you should think. I'm just here. This is what I believe. And this is also, sometimes I teach you things I believe, other times other people believe, but for sure that I also believe. But the thing is, it should pass the filter and make you think. And make you say, this is my own thoughts. Makes sense to me. And then, maybe no. Maybe we disagree. Hey, maybe you are too blah, blah, blah. You know, and I am too. That's okay, that's beautiful, that's diversity as well, you know, that we can disagree and we can respect each other and we can even sometimes shake each other into this learning and that's gonna make me think, and maybe that helps me to unload or to discard or to update, you know, my system of beliefs. That's also the beautiful thing about cultures, how I see it, you know, we are so different, and to look at, I mean, India, no, it's just like so incredible. I mean, how you can really like bring different ideas to our culture because it's so much required, how I see it, you know. But what I want to say is like it's important to see, you know, these things, to look at the confrontations, that for sure they will be, and at the same time to say, does this make sense for me or not? But not to copy and paste. That's what normally we have done, consciously or unconsciously. So this is my suggestion, invitation, cognitive area in your own terms, okay? And this is a life process. So of course, I mean, I studied psychology, I started 17 years ago, and I thought some things, you know, that now I say, hey, I'm updating them. So for sure, this is a life process that it will keep changing, and it's not to blame you either. Oh, how could you believe that? That's what I got, you know, of information when I was in my 20s. Now I'm closer to my 40s, the story is different. So the thing here is just to say, hey, you know, what is my system? And then again, if the others validate it, wonderful. If like it. If no, I don't mind. It's also my own system. So that's also important. Emotions. Again, the only important thing for me is if we end this full round and we say that we have emotions, but we are not in a negative emotion or a positive emotion, and also we are not driven by emotions. Because emotions are so important, and sometimes we really lack connection with them. But I also see that sometimes we also allow them to be there, and that's me. Because an emotion is like I like this sentence, like the body, it is the ocean, and the emotion is the waves. So the emotion and the mind, they are the waves. And sometimes we identify ourselves with my mind or with my emotional landscape. Am I just that? No, I'm much more than that. I can wake up one day or I can be 3 weeks sad, but I'm not sadness, okay? So that's also the being is not the feeling. But the feelings, they have sometimes such a power, okay, that is like, hello, I mean, tsunami. And that's why, and I didn't write it, but now I will say about the spiritual part, because I have to learn not to go just with them. To learn, I have to feel them, I need to allow them to happen to me, because again, in general, and that's what it happens when we are children, it's like we are not taught to deal with them, okay? What we say like parents many times to our kids is, stop it, you know, stop crying, stop bothering me, because I mean, emotions, they are super hard, and they are tough, and they're intense, and they can take a whole space. So in that sense, what we do is to reject them, like parents. Because a crying or a shouting kid, hello, I mean, I don't know how much you have been with kids, but I mean, to long last for that, for a long period, it is a lot, it's a lot. So what we do is to suppress them. And also, like, the other thing is like, otherwise what we do is to take them, you know, or to overprotect, or to suppress, but that's not the idea. The idea is, of course, feeling has to be there, but it needs to be held. Of course, not the child by his own, but the child by the parents, and us as grown-ups, you know. But then, of course, I need to have connection to my own child in order to be able to hold me. And for sure, I need to have cognition to understand a little. That is sadness. Maybe I know that it's because I'm missing the home country I come from, or because my father was absent. But I also need to know, you know, that that's just an emotion, and it's not gonna kill me. And it's not that, oh, I'm terrible, I'm so bad. This is what you're going to be, Christina. I mean, I'm terrible. What a period, you know, like this is scary. And I mean, the problem is that you are scared of your emotions. The problem is you're thinking the emotions are bad. You know, the emotions are coming to heal, to clean, for sure. But it's not to to over-identify either, okay? Makes sense? Easier said than done, for sure, I understand that. Body. The body, like I said, is the base, is the ocean, is the wholeness. It is like, I mean, this is 7 years ago, research and so on, but I mean, we are starting to see how much is going on in my body and how much it's sending signals to my brain. That's why if I have a smile, if I open a little bit my shoulders, if I breathe correctly, the things in the brain are gonna work much better. I mean, new connections are gonna come up, new learnings, memory works better, attention works better. It's incredible. So it's not about just the body looking good, you know? It's about just saying, aha, in the body we have a lot of tricks, you know? And it's also a trick that they have to be embedded every day. And of course, not just embedded into, okay, I learned I need to be like this. No, it's not about that. It's of course about, what is telling me my body is going now? So little by little, like I said with the brains, it's not to change it at first, it's to be with it, to respect it, and then little by little, softly, start to open it up. And of course, alert, when I open up, what does it happen? That things may pop up. So, crisis, you know, or wounds, or things are repressed. And that's also when I say, bravo, you know, we are making it. This is the process. This is what we wanted, you know, in therapy to happen. And in your own lives, of course, for sure. But I mean, we are welcoming it. We are saying, I'm here, you know, what happened down there in my life, you know? So, of course, they welcome things. And then it's when I come to Christina, oh my God. And again, I believe. Because the things come and this is chaos, I am bad. No. This is healing. This is what is coming. And this is what we need, you know. For sure, sometimes it can become too much, but in general, the body knows how to digest, and the body is doing much more than what we can imagine. Yeah? So much more. So intestines, heart, I mean, they're helping, you know, each other and sending the right signals. And I mean, it's so important. So that's why we need to help it, and help it is just the breath. And just to be with it as gentle, as soft as possible. And for sure to do, like I said many times, but actions, behaviors that they mean health to me. And it can be whatever. It can be dancing, it can be strengthening, it can be yoga, it can be whatever that my body asks for. Rest in it, but it's important that I am embodied. And actions, like I said, and all is connected. Of course, no? What I do is going to affect how I am sensing, how I'm sensing is going to affect how I'm feeling, and how I'm feeling is going to affect how I am thinking. And the same way, down. So all are helping each other. Last part, a spiritual part, which is always the forgotten one, at least in all the disciplines that they want to be science, okay? Because to talk about spirits, you know, what did you smoke? But the thing here is so important that to me, spirituality is not religion, not to me, to all the experts in this area. That's very important because religion has made so much damage in society, obviously, okay? We have had a lot of control, and for sure, that I completely agree. But what I don't agree is that we really suppress, because we are scientific people from the 21st century, the spiritual part. Science is wonderful, but it can come to where it can come. And like I said, 7 years ago, we are researching that smiling helps, okay, to learn attention and memory. So, hello, I mean, when we all will not be here alive, you know, science will prove that there are things that today they are considered spiritual. So, one thing doesn't confirm the other. And what is it spiritual? I don't want to give a definition because I think also that is to take a little bit the essence away from it. It should be what it means for you, like I said, with the mind. And the cognition is different for everyone. But what I have really rescued, and I like a lot, is like in Greek terms, it means it's some kind of air that comes to you. And of course, in religion, it's from God. But putting it away, the control from you, I think is never a good idea. So in that sense, the spiritual people, they are very dangerous. Just the spirituality by itself. Actually, what's for sure is like the spirituality tries not to be like conquering or feeling the ego, the identity. So in a sense, those two, they confront. But sometimes the people, they go to the spirituality to just give it away, you know, and say, okay, I give the control to someone else or to something outside there, and I let go. I mean, we are not gaining responsibility. And this is about responsibility. So what I invite here is to include the spirituality as you want to understand it. To me, like I said, it's an air And it is an air in the sense of, also like I said with the mind, but it's this kind of element that it helps a lot how I breathe in and out. It's gonna change my what? There are theories, but they say spirituality, and I like that, it's a connection with the wholeness, with the outside, and like, okay, moon, stars, outside level, nature for sure, universe, life happening, but at the same time, it's the biggest connection to the inside. So, like I said, it's not to get high, you know, it's not to go to meditate, I don't know how many hours, and to disconnect from life. I think it's also to be super centered, and to be super in you, to be super grounded, like a tree, rooted, and from there is to expand to the wholeness of life. And not to become too individualistic, also to connect with the collective side, okay? That's what it means for me, the spirituality for sure. So again, it is a way to understand. The beautiful thing about religion is that it means to reunite. And that should be the idea, to reunite me with the wholeness. Because we cannot be fragmented unities, you know, one there, the other there, and the other there. And all the wounds, they come because we have broken away. So that's why now my question to all of you is, what do you do, or what do you want to do, since we are in our first session, to work with this area, with this area, with this area, with this area, and with this area? And this sounded maybe a little bit overwhelming. But it is like, okay, in which ones I'm stronger? And that's also the presentation would be like, okay, you know, how am I relating to this world, or to the other world, or to the other world of me? And do I discard it? And if you want to discard it, like I said, we'll have different ideas. Maybe you say spirituality, it's okay. But I also believe, and then again, this is my system of beliefs, but I really see, if we don't work in all the areas, the system is not whole, okay? So when there is so much just putting on the weight on one area, I don't breathe fully. So that's my experience, that's my invitation. But like I said, for you, and also what is spirituality? It can be whatever. It can be to be at service of good friends. It can be to work in an NGO. It is about being a good person, I think. You know? It's about this kind of giving. It's about this way also of, like I say, reconnecting with the wholeness and with your own child. You know, to say, hey, you know, it will pass, those emotions, for sure. And the last thing that this means spirituality for me is acceptance. That's the key. And that's why it is so close to psychology. I mean, if we don't accept a thing, that's also the spiritual people like, no, I just do that and this is my way, and you shouldn't eat sugar, and you shouldn't, I don't know, drink alcohol or whatever. I mean, I also feel like you should do what you want to do, you know? So it's also not about being stigmatized, being controlled, and being in this kind of ego, again, but very spiritual, that's wrong, I mean, I found the answer, and this is how it should be. Not at all, not at all. Like the science, they do, no, the others, no, they shouldn't. Can we stop conflicting? I mean, can we just accept each other, like I said before, with the different ideas, and grow with this, you know? And of course, full respect, you can be in a different way as I do. And maybe for me, it is about writing, and for you, it's about drawing, or singing, or who knows, you know? So it's also what expression, you know, how do you fulfill these areas? And we all have different ways to do it. Make sense? So being spiritual is not to do that kind of thing that we thought that we should do. It's about what it means for me to be in peace and acceptance with my own process. Okay? Super. So, questions or anything? No. Here, how are we of time? 5:45. Perfect. One thing more. I want to give you a technique, okay? I'm not sure if we will use it today because now I want to listen to the presentations. But here this is so easy, and it's okay to check in first with your sensation, okay? When you have a conflict, when you are now drawing something, but it's like, what's my feeling, my sensing, okay? Not feeling about feelings, that comes afterwards, but what does it awaken me, you know? This drawing, for example. And that's also, I want that you just awake that kind of, also when we do mindfulness, is what's my sensation of my body today? How am I here? You know, sitting, breathing, what's my breathing? Second, feeling, for sure, what kind of emotion is it awake? Thinking, what is my system of beliefs? Like I said, because the system of beliefs always comes behind and wants to, makes you feel safe, but sometimes makes you protection, you know, make this protection for you, it is to close you. So that's why, is it okay, the system of belief? Can I make it open? And last, intuition. This is more meta-analysis or philosophy, but it's more open, more connection also to the spirituality, but how this process relates to your life. We have to be those birds also, you know, and to look at ourselves a little bit with perspective, and to find out, you know, does this brings me something in my life cycle? Because that's also when we gain resources. When we do that kind of view of, you know, that's also the question I ask you, is this feeling familiar to you or not? What does this mean for you? So I think just to have those 4 check-ins, it's super